The Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS FS is both same as it ever was, and at the same time revolutionary. Well, maybe as revolutionary as Glock ever gets. While everybody has been scrambling and just freaking out about some of the other models that have recently come out from Glock, I was kind of hyper-focused myself on this particular gun. The 19 Gen 5 MOS, the FS designation refers to the front serrations on the slide. The MOS is for the modular optic system, which is this removable plate on the top of the slide where we can put a red dot or another micro optic. So the Glock 19 MOS FS Gen 5 has been my primary interest and the one I really wanted to see and get my hands on because of a couple key things that Glock did here. And those things are, and the reason I use the word revolutionary, which is somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but not entirely, is because this gun represents the embodiment of the Glock company listening to its customers and making a change in a relatively short period of time. Actually, in a very short period of time, which is very uncharacteristic from Glock. A couple of those key changes are, number one, the front serrations. People have cried for years for front serrations on a Glock, and yes, I know, they are straight up and down, just like the rear serrations, but you can't have them slanted or curved or anything like that in the front and not be on the back, so what else are they going to do? They have to match. But that's something that people have asked for a long time. Glock's been listening, and then finally, now, with some of the new offerings, we're just starting to see those front serrations. They've also done a nice job of listening to people's complaints about the aesthetics of the way the front of the slide with that beveled front was matching the front of the frame down in the dust cover area. So they fixed that. That's completely in response to customer feedback. One of the things that I think was most significant was the change here at the bottom of the front strap. Remember, they had that big cutout on the Gen 5s when the Gen 5s came out, and they said that was to help us rip the magazine out of the magazine well. In case we ever had a magazine that wouldn't come out. Well, I've never had a magazine not come out. I don't know about you guys. That's never happened to me, but I know a lot of people didn't like it. Now, I said with the Glock 17 that it really didn't bother me, and it didn't, and it still doesn't. Same thing with the 34 because they're the identical frame. However, that is the 17 round frame. With the Glock 19, with its 15 round magazine capacity and its subsequently shorter frame, even with my small to medium sized hand, you can see that my pinky goes all the way to the bottom. Well, a lot of people have bigger hands than me, and they were complaining that that was very annoying to have that cut out there. And I can understand how it would be. And then making it even worse, some people were complaining that during a reload, they would actually, when they shoved the magazine up in there, they might get their skin wedged in there and pinch themselves. And yeah, that could hurt. That could even raise a nice blood blister. So there's a couple of very key changes that Glock made in direct response to customer feedback. And again, they did it in pretty quick, short order. So kudos to Glock for being uncharacteristically quick to respond to their customer base. The other thing the Gen 5 brings us, of course, is the flared magazine well. And that flared magazine well does make it a lot easier to stuff a new magazine in. We still have the Gen 5 magazine base plate, which is not backward compatible. However, it is forward compatible in that you can take the Gen 4 and Gen 3 magazine and they will work fine. So in pretty much every other way, this is a regular Gen 5 Glock with all the changes that they've made for Gen 5. It has the NDLC finish on the slide and some of the other parts. It has the flared magwell, as we talked about. Has the no finger grooves front strap, which most people like, myself included, especially when you get into a smaller pistol like the 19. It does have the marksman barrel, which is a slightly different type of rifling compared to the older Glock style. There are some improvements to the trigger, and this is, as I pointed out with the Glock 17 Gen 5 about a year ago, this is a 2-pin gun now instead of a 3-pin gun, which is why I still think we're only going to see this gun in 9mm. Also, like the Gen 5s and the Gen 4s before it, it comes with additional back straps that you can put on if you want to alter your grip. Basically go from the smallest, which is the no back strap, to any of the larger ones. And 4 of those are included. It does come with 3 magazines, and because it is an MOS, it also comes with all of these mounting plates and the mounting screws and a little mounting tool so that you can put your optic on the Glock. So for me, the Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS was something I was excited to get my hands on. I like all of the things that they've changed about it. I can't wait to put an optic on it and get it out and shoot it. So I think we'll do that next. So finally, let's get this first 100 started. I'm out at the range. I'm ready to shoot it. I got my Holosun mounted on there. That's just back from being fixed. We'll talk about that in another topic. I'm going to put a first 100 through this gun, starting now. Very nice. Now I just mounted this Holosun on here. I didn't make any attempt to zero it in, and other than it going maybe a little bit left, and that could be me too, it looks like it's just about perfect. So I'm going to trust it. Well, let's try and get that white flapper. Okay, we're definitely shooting left. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely shooting left. Using some Kentucky windage here, which is working out okay. I'll tell you what, getting rid of that half moon cutout is really, really nice on the Glock 19, because that was just right in the spot where it would have been really annoying. And now, not only is it a more comfortable grip, but when I load a fresh mag, slam it home, I don't have to worry about pinching myself. I'm just going to go back to the body of the target. She is a shooter. I've been liking the Gen 5 anyway. I like the 17, I like the 34, and I like the 19 MOS a lot. Okay, just for fun, I made a slight adjustment to the Holosun red dot. Let's see if I've got a little better sight picture. Nope. Now where am I? Let me try a headshot on the pink. High? Nope. All right, so I think I over-adjusted. And I don't even have a Talon grip on this thing yet. You know how much I love my Talon grips, especially on Glocks. But boy, this gun just feels fantastic. It's only going to feel that much better when I have a Talon grip on it. Of course, you know, we have in the Gen 5s now the ambidextrous slide stop, slide release. And it works so easy I can do it with my trigger finger. So you lefties out there, you got two choices now. Yeah, man, the thing just shoots like a Glock on steroids, doesn't it? You know, I'm not really a big press check guy, but I can take or leave front serrations, but I don't mind them if they're there, and sometimes I appreciate them aesthetically. Well, these don't really do a whole lot for the aesthetics because they're just, you know, Glock serrations on the front instead of on the rear, but they are very helpful, especially if you've got a red dot and you don't want to have to try and reach over or around or behind your optic to grab the serrations. Gives you another place where you can get a handful of slide if you want to. So, you know, just another argument maybe for them, especially on the MOS. And, you know, if you like to do press checks and make sure you remember that you loaded your gun, then you can do that too. And while I'm insulting people, if you like to shoot wrong, there's a little bit of texture right out here. Doesn't take very long to go through rounds in a pistol like the Glock 19. This will be 90 when I'm done with this magazine. That brings us to just about the end of our first 100. But if you're itching for more information, you want an even deeper look at this gun and a lot more details, fear not. I'm going to have a review going up on Guns America in the very near future on this very gun, and it's going to go into a lot more depth. So stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, thanks for watching. Hurry back. Okay, well, I really couldn't leave things like that. So I tweaked the red dot a little bit more, and I think I've got it fairly dialed in. Enough to hit that target anyway, which is about 11 yards down range. So let's finish up the first 100, hopefully on a good note. That was me. I've yet to find a sight that'll compensate for my flinch. If you find one, let me know. What? There we go. Glock 19, Gen 5 MOS FS, MOUSE. First 100. Thanks again for watching.